In this video, I'm going to be introducing the Desmos graphing calculator, which we'll be using throughout the course in order to look at some graphs and also do some statistical calculations. We're going to start with just the basics of the Desmos calculator. And so to access it, all you do is you go to www.desmos.com/calculator. You can also, if you type in scientific here, it will bring up a slightly different calculator. I like to use the graphing calculator. So you can either put calculator or graphing here. And it gives you just a little bit more than the scientific calculator because you can see it brings up this graph over here, which we can use. One of the other really nice features of this is that if I want to see the math keyboard, I can just hit that little key here. So this little keyboard, if I click on the arrow, it opens it up. If I don't want to see it, I can close it off. And the nice thing is it has all of the basic math functions which you might want to use. So add, subtract, multiply, divide. And then over here, we've got a few more. We've got pi, we can do less thans, greater thans. And then over here, we've got a whole lot more. So if you click on functions, you'll see we can do trig, inverse trig, and statistics, which we'll be getting into some more of these throughout the semester. Some other things we'll be using are distributions, and then also a little bit of number theory probability here. So the beauty of this is you don't have to remember these. So if you remember them, you can just type it in. So if I'm doing some statistics down the road, we're going to be looking at doing a mean. And I remember that I can just type mean, I can just type it out. If I forgot what it's called in Desmos, no problem. I just click on this keyboard and then click on functions and I can see exactly what's going on. And then I can do those basic. So if you have basic operations you want to do, again, you can pull up the keyboard, or if you want to just type it using your keys, I want to do 3 plus 4, I can just type in 3 plus 4. Or I could come over here and click on 3 plus 4. So kind of whichever works well for you. Another cute little feature, let's make ourselves a fraction, so 0.25. If I want to see what fraction that is, do you see how when I type in the decimal, I get this little circle opens up here? So I can click on that and I can convert quickly between decimals and fractions. So those are some of the just straight calculation things that we can do with Desmos. Let's take a look at one of the things that it's going to help you out with in Module 3. And in Module 3, we're looking at statistical graphs. And one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to take some data for our assignment, and we're going to graph it as a time series. And I'm not going to do this whole graph and show you everything, but one of the really cool things that you can do with Desmos is if you have this type of data, so I can just copy that. Look at that, copy. So I just did on my computer, it's Control-C. Yours might be a little bit different. And then I go into Desmos. I'm just going to close these things out. And then this plus sign, I'm going to click on this to add an item. And what I want to add is a table. So I'm going to select table. And now I'm just going to go into this very first row, first column of the table, and hit Control-V. Actually, I guess it created a new table. We'll get rid of that one. Okay, so here's the table. And look at that. It does the plot for me. Okay. Now this, you can't always copy and paste. For example, in a minute, I'm going to show you an example that's a PDF. And so it doesn't work well on PDFs, but like from a Word file or depending on what the file is. But no worries, if you can't simply copy and paste it, you can also type it in. So I'm going to bring over, well, actually, let's first look at, this is a problem from your textbook. And it's similar to that homework problem that you have. In this one, though, we have healthcare expenditures, and I'm just going to focus on the per capita healthcare expenditures. So starting in the year 2007 and going to the year 2016, these are the per capita healthcare expenditures. And like I said, this didn't copy well. See, when I try to copy it, it doesn't work because it's a PDF or something. But no worries. What I did is I just pulled up a Desmos window and I entered all of that myself. And here I have the years, and here I have the per capita healthcare expenditures. And when I look at this plot, so what Desmos does is it allows me to change the scale. And that's kind of what this homework assignment was saying was, what if I want to make it look like the prices are really going up or they're not going up at all? So this is just a graph going from in the y-axis from 0 to 10,500, which is basically the range of my data. And then in the y-axis going, sorry, the x-axis going from 2007 to 2016. So I'm just making sure that all of my data points show up on my graph. Now, if I want to make it look like it's going up really fast, what I can do is I can click on this graph setting here, and this allows me to change the range of values that show up. Here is the range of values on the x-axis, and here is the range of values on the y-axis. So I still want to see all of those x points, but what I can do now is instead of starting at 0, I can say start at 7,600 because that's the lowest value. Okay. And if I do that, would you look at that? It looks like it's going up really sharply, doesn't it? So this makes it look as though the per capita is going up a lot quicker. On the other hand, if I want to make it look like it's not going up quickly at all, that's quite doable too. And there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this at 0, and then I'm going to have it go up really far. Let's have it go up to 20,000 this time. Okay, so now it looks practically flat. And if I want to really make it look flat, let's jump it up to 50,000. Now it looks like a straight line. So playing around with the values that you have on your screen in the graph. If all I want to do, though, is just to zoom in on a graph, I can do that by either hitting the plus or the minus, or I can also use my mouse to kind of scroll in, scroll out. So these little tools over here are very helpful for your graph. That's all I have for this week, but as we start looking at distributions and finding means and modes and things like that, we will look at some of the other tools in Desmos. If you have questions, you can email me at jane.keller@joyce.edu, or you can also reach out to your instructor. I hope this was helpful. Have a great day.